So walk us through a little bit of the pre-ideation stage. Like if anyone walks into your outlets, you have a lot of distinctive stuff, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the scents, in terms of what we see on the walls, the wallpaper, the pictures.
Yes.
Where did some of this ideation actually happen?
Before we started Daryaganj, which was about 2019 is when we launched the first restaurant. We started working on it 2 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working on it, I had actually come out of a failure. I had failed in a few restaurants, and I was like, I'm not going to leave any stone unturned. I'm going to make sure everything is very much taken care of.
Right.
I don't make any mistakes again.
Yeah.
I didn't have room for much mistakes that time. So I, I looked back and understood a few things which I decided I will not do. One was I didn't want to do too big a restaurant, so I decided to do a small, medium-sized restaurant, 50 to 60, 70 seater,
Right.
not like a 100, 200 seater or maybe like a 20 seater, like about 60, 70 seater. Then I wanted to make I'm going to make a restaurant which is focused on family dining because that's a more loyal, it's a more loyal segment.
So true.
Then there was a thought that, there is a North Indian cuisine segment which is very, very expensive.
Right.
And the 5 stars, maybe the premium restaurant serving, maybe say 1,400 per person.
Yep.
And then there was one which was more like dhabas or roadside ones, 500, 600 rupees a person. There was a sweet spot in the middle, 900,
between, and that's where you guys decided to
and
come
we
in.
found that sweet spot. And the fourth learning for me was that I have to make sure that I really check on the property and because I made some mistakes on taking properties, and there were some regulations which changed, licenses which changed. So I wanted to be very sure about that, the due diligence there.
Yep.
And the fifth, which is the most important, was how do I decode a great experience in a restaurant, and how do I backward plan the great experience in a restaurant?
Right.
So while I was doing that, it struck me that when we think from a customer's perspective, customer when he walks into your restaurant, whatever he experiences is through his 5 senses.
Yep.
So let's break it down. So first thing when he enters, what he sees. So if you see the interiors, the way they've been made, it's very approachable.
Yep.
I purposely decided not to make it too, maybe not make it too intimidating.
Correct.
Make it very, very warm and very inviting. Also showing our story, which is a mix of brick walls and like old retro elements plus some bit of contemporary elements as well.
Sure.
And the second, when you enter the restaurant, immediately you get a whiff of the signature fragrance.
What is the fragrance? Because it's very distinctive, and I think I only smell it when I come to Daryaganj outlet.
So I wanted to create this is what we call a scent branding. There's a company called Arome. They worked on this with me. So we actually went through hundreds of iterations to finalize this fragrance. So it was a fragrance which my brief to them was, I want a feel-good fragrance, something which kind of blends Indian and modern notes. So we actually found an Indian flower note, and then we found a contemporary note, mixed it together and created this blend, which is a Daryaganj signature fragrance. Every Daryaganj restaurant you go to, you will get the same fragrance.
And not only that, but even during the pandemic, when you started your boxes and that experience box was going out, and even there you were actually incorporating this as well. Right?
We implemented it there as well. And so that was the sense of smell.
Yep.
So next was when you sit down on the table, everything you touch, from the tabletops to the crockery, the cutlery, and also the way the servers treat you, they speak to you is also touch. So that's the third, touch. And then fourth was music. Your sense of hearing. So I really handpicked every single track, where all the tracks were unplugged renditions of old retro songs. So I didn't want to play the straight songs because then it would have been a little boring for the younger generation. So like younger artists singing the older tracks. So it became approachable for all.
Nice.
And then the most important, the fifth, the sense of taste. So the food was very carefully thought of. We uncomplicated recipes. We made them simple. We made sure we used the purest of ingredients, and that is what makes a lot of difference. So we avoided a lot of packaged ingredients, and all of this is what makes our brand successful. Because what we also focus on the sense of taste is that what you eat and what you feel at that time is one experience, and what you feel 2 hours later is an experience. And the best feedback we get from all our guests is a common feedback that after having your food 2 hours later, we didn't feel heavy, and that's what brings them back faster and faster.